Hello, my Archeage friends. This is Arid. In-game name is September on the Nui, the Thunderwing, and the public test server. Today I'm playing on the public test server, and in this video we're going to cover the changes coming to the Larceny profession and what is billed as Phase 4 of Fresh Start. Big changes! Oh, they are coming. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, but changes nevertheless. There is actually a great many of changes and additions to Archeage in this patch coming on July 18th, but to address as many as I can in this short window of time, I'm going to do these smaller focus videos, and this one in particular is about Larceny. Larceny can be a lot of things to different people, but at the core of it, it's the loot drops that we get from the mobs we are farming. To that end, there are some pretty major changes coming to coin purses, mob crates, and the locked crates that you need to be aware of. First up is the coin purse. So what's happening here is the silver or gold that's coming out of each of these coin purses has changed. Thankfully, it wasn't but a couple of weeks ago where I covered these purses, so it makes it easy to compare what happened then to what is happening now. For example, the Prince coin purse, which was 10 labor to open, averaged 27 silver per purse. After the patch, they're going to average 42 silver per purse. Additionally, the labor cost to open them has remained exactly the same. What this means is we went from the best silver to labor ratio of the Prince purse with max Larceny at 4.5 silver per labor point. Now we're going to be getting 7 silver per labor point, again Prince purses. And I'm actually seeing these changes similar for all other coin purses, whether we're talking about ancestral, queens, or even the jesters. The labor cost is the same, the gold amount has increased. Next up, the mob crates, and this is where kind of a bit of bad news comes in. The mob crates like the noble, jester, prince, queen, and ancestral all have had their loot tables changed. Essentially with this change, the amount of sellables, whether that be stuff you sold to the vendor or to the auction house, has been reduced, leaving pretty much only mysterious garden powders, glowing prisms, and in the case of prince or higher, Cynthium shards that are used in the costume. What this means is things like Archeum dust, motes, lunarite, rumbling trees, and regrade braziers are no longer dropping. In their place, XL Games has added XP items for leveling you or your pets, depending on the level of crate that you're opening. I'm going to put up a graphic that was shared with me from the try-on live stream about these changes. What you have is crates of jesters and lower dropping XP only potions usable by under level 51 characters, or said another way, level 50 or less. Now the Prince and the Queens and the Ancestral crates, they will also drop XP potions, but those are usable from characters level 51 to level 55. Now keep in mind, as soon as you hit the Ancestral level or Abyssal level 1, those two become worthless. The Ancestral crate will drop the Companion Growstones, which are the XP that you use on the pets. Slightly more practical, but not actually that valuable. It is at this point I should point out that the Queens and the Ancestral crates, that's the highest tiers of the crates, had a significant labor point cost reduction. The Queen's crates used to be 40 base labor to open, they are now 20. The Ancestral crates used to be 80 base labor, those are also now 20. We'll need to run some further testing at the drop rates of the Mysterious Garden Powder as well as the Cynthium shards to determine the value of these actual crates. There is just too much for me to cover at this very moment to spend hours farming mobs for enough of these to evaluate the true value, but we'll run some tests here in the future. Okay, so the last thing about these mob crates, and this is going to get into another sore subject for a lot of people, and that is about lunarite. Specifically the basic lunarite that was used to craft Lunafrost. Those, as I indicated earlier, have been removed. However, in place, what you'll be getting is random, unidentified lunar frost ranging from the basic grade cracked to the rare grade of flawless. You will then have to spend 10 labor to identify these lunar frost, in which case you will get a random gem. Now, in most cases, everybody's going to want to use the best lunar frost, which are the arcane versions called Honor Bold. Those used to be available for Honor. Open your window, your Honor shop, look at the lunar frost. Those rare or those arcane ones are the ones that I'm talking about. Those have been removed, but if you want to get those, you'll have to craft your lunarite from basic to fine to superior at a crafting workbench. At which point, when you have the superior lunarite, you can then combine them into a sealed lunar frost, which can be rare, or if you're lucky, arcane. Once again, you're going to be spending more labor to identify them, and if you get the wrong one, your only recourse is to salvage that with an even stone and start over. It's going to be a very annoying, vicious cycle to get a very specific lunar frost. My advice is, if you have Honor now, buy a set or a few sets of those lunar frost for Honor that you foresee yourself needing here in the future. Hiram gear, wink wink. And of course, those are all bound, so you won't be able to find them on the auction house, pretty much requiring everybody who wants a lunar frost to go through this process on their own multiple times until they get the one that they are looking for. Okay, so let's move on to some good news, or, well, some surprising news. Let's talk about the locked crates, the copper, silver, and gold. Here is what I've been able to confirm. The current locked crates you have now are not changing. They are going to be considered retired items. The drops that they have will not be changing. Basically, what's happening is the version of crate that you currently have is retired and will no longer be dropping off of mobs. Instead, what we'll be getting is a new version of each of those crates, which will contain more gold coins and chances at regrade items like lucky sun, moon, and star point fragments, and what I've heard at the gold level, full-blown resplendent regrade scrolls. The copper crates are going to drop from these shadow invasion mobs. Those are the ones that used to drop the gold crates. Unfortunately, on the test server, I have not been able to obtain any of these, as the shadow invasion bosses are just too difficult to kill for 2 or 3 people. The new silver lock crates I have been able to obtain, and obtain them I did. These are dropping on 2-star mobs in Aurora. Now, 2-star mobs are very abundant in Reedwind, but pretty much every zone has some version of them. I found them on the Varabas in Sungold and Exilok. There's also giant crabs, ice golems, sea sand elementals, and Whale Song Harbor. Now, for those of you on the fresh start, you won't have access to Reedwind, Whale Song, or Aegis Isle. However, there are spots like in Exilok, and I'm sure there's other that spawn the 2-star mobs. So I'm standing here in this video in Exilok showing you the location of the chaotic abyssal guardians. On top of this, the drop rate for the locked silver crates is a very, very, very high. In fact, if you're on the Legacy server and you have access to Reedwind map due to the abundance of the 2-star mobs here, you could very easily clear over 100 silver crates per hour with these drop rates. We're talking about a nearly 100% drop rate on the 2-star mobs. More on silver crates here in a minute. So what I want to do is open up some of the old silver crates and then compare them to the new ones and see what they're going to be dropping. But before we do that, let me talk about the gold crates. The gold crates are supposedly dropping from world bosses now. However, much like the shadow invasion mobs, I haven't been able to obtain any due to the amount of people needed to kill world bosses. That said, I'm going to be reaching out to Tryon for some testing materials so we can do a more thorough analysis later. For now, let's get back to what I can test, which is the silver crates, And based on what happens there, we can draw some conclusions. As you can see here in my bag, I've already got some of these silver crates. And as I mentioned earlier, they are very, very easy to obtain. Like almost game-breaking easy. I honestly don't know if we got a bug in the code because nearly, like I said, 100% of the times I kill a 2-star mob. In various Aurora zones, they all have been dropping them, like every kill. In this regard, Larceny may still be very profitable. Who knows? Maybe by design here. Depending on how cheap these things actually get on the auction house, Larceny may not be dead. And to parallel this, I can see both copper and silver ore, or ingots, or silver copper keys going way up in value. That means there can be a boost to the miners out there. With that said, let's go ahead and open up 50 of the old silver crates, and then we're going to open up 50 of the new silver crates and compare the drops and gold obtained. So what it comes out to is that the new version of the silver crate has an average of 10.6 gold per crate, while the old one only had 6.5 gold per crate. Now on top of this, the new silver crate seems to have a much more average or even amount of fire, wave, and gale lunarite. I didn't get any superior lunarites in the new crates, but that could simply be an anomaly or not inside the average. Considering I only got one drop from the old crate, 50 of these really isn't a large enough sample to make any conclusions as to the drop rate of the tier 2 lunarite. I would like to do 300 or 400 of these so we can kind of figure that out. But what we can say is that the tier 1 lunarite is much more evenly split, and the gold per chest is up over 50%. Alright, so let's wrap up the silver crates and what it means to you. I can actually see two things happen given what we do know about these crates, and if nothing changes between now and patch day. The first thing is the value of the old silver crates is going to tank. This is because the new silver crates have more gold in them, and if you're going to buy or spend labor to make or buy the keys, which silver crate would you open? The second thing is the demand for copper and silver ore to make these keys is going to go up proportionately to accommodate the higher amount of gold coming out of these new silver crates, at the very least. Not to mention the sheer fact that these crates are dropping so often that I borderline think we've crossed into a bug situation here. But even if this is a bug, even if the drop rates are wrong, the increased amount of gold from these new crates will drive up what people are willing to pay for a key. That pretty much sums up Larceny. Now, there are some other things that pertain to Larceny, like salvaging weapon, armor, and accessories for the Archeum. And for those of us who are on the fresh start, Archeum shards probably still will warrant doing this for those Jester and Noble mobs that drop those pieces. One may actually find that Archeum may be worth a fair bit more as people pay to win for their Delphinod sets, which is coming in this patch. And we also have to adjust for the fact that no dust are coming from the Jester or Noble crates any longer, maybe driving up the prices of Archeum. The short version of this story is Larceny feels like it got the shaft on paper, but it very well may be saved by the reduced labor cost on the Queens and the Ancestral crates, combined with that increased gold coming from the purses and also the crazy drop rate on these locked silver crates. Perhaps simply adjusting where you farm may very well be the saving grace and provide even more lucrative opportunities for those willing to make those adjustments. Well, that's pretty much Larceny as I see it right now on this test server, July 14th, 2018, North America. I hope you have found this information both helpful and informative, because that is the goal. I'm actually going to try to cover all major subjects before the 18th, so please make sure that you like and subscribe so you get future notifications on new videos. As one of the few Archeage guys left, your support matters now more than ever. If you feel this video and videos like this will help you, you can support me on Twitch, Patreon, or through Streamlabs. Those links will be in the video description. Until next time, this is September saying, be well.